Hey there friends, it's Mark from MENWHOBULLET. Thanks for hanging out and watching today's video. We're going to be talking about bullet journal consistency. It's probably one of the top questions I get asked throughout the year, especially like midway through a year. Mark, how do you stay so consistent inside of your bullet journal? How have you been able to stick with one thing for 5 years? Let me tell you something. Sticking with anything for that long is really difficult for me. And I can tell you that the bullet journal is the only thing that I've actually stuck with for 5 years. It's been around productivity or like helping myself. And I think my 5 tips today are gonna help you also continue to be as consistent. The number one thing that I'm gonna share with you today around how to be more consistent inside of your bullet journal is to actually build your bullet journal into your daily routine. I use my bullet journal almost every single day. I mostly use it during the week because I actually use my bullet journal primarily for work. I also have personal things inside of here and I take notes for other things outside of work, but I use my bullet journal every single day. It helps me be the best that I can possibly be at work, and I absolutely love doing that. And by including it in my daily routine, it's helped me stay consistent. Now, whether you use your bullet journal for work or you're just using it for at home or for personal things, build it into your routine. Spend 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, whatever it might need to be for yourself. Just make sure that you're actually using it, and that will help you be very much more consistent inside of your bullet journal. Tip number 2 on being more consistent inside of your bullet journal. This is actually a quote that I thunked up a while back, but it's actually stuck with me, and I had a few other people tell me that it sticks with them as well, which is make sure you're working in your journal and not for your journal. And what that means is that when you start using your bullet journal or any type of planner system, it can start to feel more like a chore than being helpful. And I can tell you from personal experience, especially with creative bullet journaling, when you're trying to create spreads and make it look cool and use fancy paints and markers and all of that inside of there, you start to make mistakes. And then you start to get mad, and then you feel like you have to keep up with it. And the next thing you know, you're so frustrated that you just don't ever want to use this ever again. And I can't blame you. I hope my notebook's okay. But really, when you start to get frustrated with something, you don't want to use it, you don't use it. So if you want to stay consistent inside of your bullet journal, make sure that what you're putting into it is what you want, not what you feel like it needs to be. Tip number 3 on being more consistent inside of your bullet journal is don't force it, but also don't forget it. It kind of goes with number 2. The idea is that you want to use your journal, but don't feel like you have to always use your journal. There are going to be times when you need to write a note down outside of your bullet journal, and that's okay. There are going to be times when you're not going to have your bullet journal with you, and you think, oh my goodness, but everything has to go in there, and you start to freak out. It's okay. Take a note, put it in your phone, and then bring it back to your bullet journal. Just make sure that you don't forget that you have that bullet journal over there. It's the idea, again, of building it into your routine, spending some time with it during the day or in the evening or whatever that might be to consolidate the things that are happening outside of your journal. Your life cannot live inside of a little notebook, but this little notebook can certainly help you organize and be productive inside of your life. All right, my next tip to help you stay more consistent inside of your bullet journal is actually bullet journal maintenance. Don't worry, you don't have to tune up your notebook. You have to tune up yourself, though, and how you use your notebook. The thing is that over time, our lives change. Things change. Work changes, how busy you are, how not busy you are. What's happening personally inside of your life changes, and therefore your bullet journal might need to change. As an example, over the past 5 years, my bullet journal style has changed at least 4 times. It's been through different jobs, different times. The way that I used it before COVID is different than the way that I use it afterwards. Being in person versus being remote. All of that changes the way that you have to use your bullet journal. And so what I like to do is do an every 6-month kind of maintenance update. I like to create a collection page and write down what's working, what's not working. If I'm switching from one notebook to the next because I've completed a bullet journal, I especially do it then because I want to make sure that I'm taking the things with me that I need, but leaving what I don't. This also goes back with the previous ones. You don't want to feel like you have to use certain pages or work a certain way inside of your journal because it's just not going to make you enjoy it. You're not going to get any joy out of using this and feeling really good if you feel like you have to use certain pages in a certain way. All right, the fifth and final tip that I have for you about being more productive when using a bullet journal, it's easier said than done, but have fun with your bullet journal. This is about intentional living. This is about being productive. This is about whatever you need the method to be for you. But make sure that you're having fun while you're doing it. Create some fun collection pages. Journal, draw. I don't care what you do, just make sure that you're having fun with it and that you're actually enjoying the process of using an analog system to maximize whatever your goals are. Like I said, easier said than done. Don't force it because we don't want that, right? That was kind of one of our tips before. But just make sure that you are really fully experiencing the bullet journal and giving it a good try. Give it at least 30 days, especially if you're brand new to bullet journaling. But if you've been doing it for a while, going through this every now and again and doing that maintenance can be really helpful. And another great tip is if you're really feeling like you're losing your hold on the bullet journal, go back and read the book. Get the ebook, buy the hardcover book. Every summer I actually read this book while I'm on vacation just to relive and kind of rethink about my approach to my bullet journal. And it can be really helpful and really cathartic. And it's also fantastic just to hear the creator, even if you're listening to the audio version of it, hearing Ryder talk about the bullet journal method. It's beautiful. It's artistry. It really is. Hopefully these tips were helpful for you. And if you've been bullet journaling for a while and you have other tips that you'd like to share, get this conversation going. Drop a comment down below and let me know and let everyone else know your top tips for being consistent inside your bullet journal. I'll chat with you later on. Thank you so much for hanging out. See ya.